Hello there, my name is Japheth Mast, and welcome to the Make Life Awesome podcast. I'm the Ex-Amish photographer with the funny name and the crazy hair, but trust me, there's a whole lot more to me than just that. In this podcast, I really hope to show you my heart more than what's in my head, because that's where all the really beautiful stuff is. I'm so glad you're here. Let's jump in to learning together what it looks like to make life awesome. Welcome to the Make Life Awesome podcast. I'm your host, Japheth Mast, and welcome to episode 2. In this episode, I have a fun conversation with two of my best friends, Chris and Nicholas. I do apologize for the audio quality. Some parts are a little bit quieter than others, but I did do my best to fix that in editing as best as I could. Without further ado, enjoy this episode with myself, Chris Scruggs, and Nicolas Lirio. Hey, welcome to episode 2 of the podcast. I'm here with my friends Chris and Nicholas, and they're just ridiculous. But I thought it'd be fun to have a candid conversation with them, just about things that come up. So go ahead and say hi, guys.
Hi, podcast.
Well, hello.
And Japheth.
What do I do with my hands?
What's up, Make Life Awesome people?
Hey!
That's great. Okay, Nicholas, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are, maybe the 3-minute version?
Oh, man. 3 minutes is long. My parents were both raised in the Philippines, but my dad is Filipino and my mom is white. She was a missionary kid there, and they had me, so I'm half Filipino. And I am 6'2", and I grew up on a prairie grass farm in the middle of Iowa. I have done 4 years of Bible college, which is really exciting to tell people at family reunions. I am really good at making friendships last. I love to dance. And
Girls.
Oh, I do. I like girls so much. Girls are great.
Me.
Apparently, I like Chris. This is news to me. Let's see. I feel like...
That's pretty good. What do you like to do for fun?
Let's see. I like to make what I'm doing fun. I like to work. I am a server at Olive Garden. And if there's anything you could possibly need besides ranch, I would bring it right to you.
Do you not serve ranch at Olive Garden?
No, we do. I just hate people that ask for ranch.
Oh, really?
I'm telling you, there are two kinds of crazy people that come into restaurants. And both of them are people that ask for ranch. Because they're never like, oh yeah, can I have a medium amount of ranch? They're always like, I need 600 pounds of ranch and bring me 1 leaf of lettuce.
Yeah, but if you're like eating, I mean, this isn't at Olive Garden, but if you're like getting fried chicken, you don't want ranch with your fried chicken or ranch with your pizza.
I had ranch for the first time ever a couple months ago. And
what?
I haven't had it since.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, that's great. Alright, Chris, tell us a little bit about you. Where you're from, what you like to do, all that.
Yeah, I'm from Southern California. I'm the oldest of 6 kids. I currently operate a landscape company. And before that, I started a company. I did 1 year of Bible school, and I'm currently living in Redding. I'm single, in case there's anyone wondering.
There's a cry of loneliness. Tell them that you're a white girl when it comes to music.
I'm a white girl when it comes to music. I listen to Taylor Swift. More recently, the Jonas Brothers. They just came out with an incredible album yesterday. I don't know when you're releasing this, but June 6th. It was awesome. It's amazing. I love to read. I love to explore, go on adventures. I love playing Catan.
That's good. So I thought it'd be fun to talk about our friendship a little bit, since we have a pretty unique and dynamic relationship. So we met close to 2 years ago.
Man. Wow.
Yeah, for the beginning of Bible school out here in Redding. We lived in the same house. Have lived together for that whole time period. And Chris has Chris has some tea and his like little string just broke from the tea bag. And I was just
It's fine. It's fine.
sipping it angrily. Yeah, we have a great relationship.
Recently, we've been going to the gym every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
You should see Chris's biceps.
Mm-hmm.
They are very similar to the same size they were when we started.
Yeah. Yep, that's true.
Nicholas, can you talk a little bit about relationships and your view of them and how to make new friendships and how to keep them?
Well, in our friendship dynamic, there were two different ways that it happened. Chris and I ended up living in the same room, and he gave me rides everywhere for the first few months.
So you didn't have a car?
I didn't have a car. And so Chris gave me rides everywhere I needed to go. And so he just, by proximity, had to either find a way to like me or to hate his life. And we ended up becoming friends, and we would talk at night to his dismay. I didn't know he didn't like to talk after 8 p.m. But he would put up with us talking at night. And then, so it was like being stuck on an island and there's only one other person, and you're like, I mean, might as well. We gotta procreate or something. And
gotta get more people on the side.
Yeah, I gotta get more people on the side. And then I would say there's the other way, because that happens a lot with coworkers. It happens a lot with, if you regularly go to a coffee shop and you just end up being around someone else who regularly goes to the coffee shop, you end up just having a lot in common, in that regard. And then you can build up from there. But there's another side to it. And that's the one that I most admire. And I think Japheth, exemplified that perfectly. He saw how close Chris and I were and really chased after us for a few months. And it was quite inspiring. I remember one morning I was sitting on the back patio and Japheth came back there and said, all right, I'm leaving. And I kind of looked at him awkwardly and was thinking like, okay. And I said, oh, well, have a good morning. And he just stood there and finally said, can I have a hug? and I was like, yeah. And I stood up and gave him a hug and
go after what you need.
Yeah, come on. He knew how to do it. So he chased after the relationship and successfully wedged his way into it.
Wedged.
To the point that us three are inseparable. Triangles are the strongest shape, and the trinity is a trinity, not a fornity or a tunity.
Is that a word?
No.
Tunity?
No, it's not a word.
Is fornity a word?
No, it's not a word.
Really?
It should be, though.
How do you spell fornity?
It's not a word. You don't spell it.
Well.
Number 4, nutty. Chris, what about your side of the relationship?
With you guys?
Yeah.
I don't want to be friends with either of them.
This comes out.
Nicholas is too loud and at moments felt... what's the word I'm looking for? It felt like insincere when I talked to him, which isn't true at all. But he's so energetic and so exciting, it just was hard for me to read him sometimes. And plus, he'd wake up at 7 a.m. and immediately get on the phone, and he was always talking to people till like he went to bed, which drove me nuts. And then Japheth just didn't talk at all. He was the other end of the spectrum.
I've changed, guys. I've changed.
Where you would ask him a question, and it took him like a minute to respond, and you just kind of like either like answered it for him or just assumed assumed he forgot. Or anyway, so relationally, it was hard for me to connect with them because those were never the type of people I ever hung around growing up. And I was always kind of around more even-tempered people who weren't as extreme as they had been on their levels. And so, yeah, and then they had different things that they care about. They have different, not necessarily different values, but different things that they think about, that they care about, that they talk about. And I generally hung around people that thought the same as I did or had some like similar interests and dreams, whereas all of us have like pretty different dreams and thought processes and things we value. And so
but we all like girls.
Yeah, that's for sure. But our taste in girls is definitely different.
Oh, man.
It's very different. So like,
about them being girls is about the only thing that's in common with our tasting.
yeah. So yeah,
we're all very different, but I think it's cool how we've let our differences strengthen one another and grow each other, and that's really cool.
What did you think about us when you met us? I don't think I've ever heard what you thought.
Well,
I wasn't even sure that you were thinking something.
I had a similar impression of Nicholas, very loud, and sometimes it looked like he was doing it for attention, but I realized that it wasn't. I mean, most of the time.
He also changed a lot.
We've all grown.
I'm just eccentric.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's for sure.
And Chris, he was very, very direct, and
Really?
yes, and at times it felt like you were being mean, like you just didn't care.
It's because I was.
Oh.
He's grown too. A little.
Yeah. Okay.
He can now have conversations until about 8:30.
I actually have a heart now. Okay, keep going. This is good.
But yeah, you just have like a straight face, and you just be so direct, which I thought was pretty cool. I was like, yeah, seems like he knows what he's saying, so he must be right. I should be more like him.
Thanks. Yeah, you should.
But yeah, it's cool how we've all three grown and transformed a lot over the past 2 years. It's cool. Yeah. Like our chemistry, for lack of a better word, has keep getting better, and it's really cool.
I think it's weird to me watching us how we interact in different scenarios, particularly parties. So we live in a community housing where our landlord has a high value for throwing parties, and we've kind of adopted it as well.
Like ragers, like with kegs of beer.
Oh man,
right?
Yeah,
and all these crazy things, and yeah, no, it's very
game.
Christian party.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, as Christian rager as it can get, that's about what we have going on. Always dancing parties.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But it's fun because Chris will say, "Hey guys, let's get people to come over this Saturday night and like have a good time," and then that'll happen. And Chris's idea of a good time is like 5 people sitting around a table playing Monopoly Deal.
Yes.
Or Catan.
Or Catan. Or Japheth. and Chris is pretty spontaneous about it. Japheth will say, "Guys, I'm really feeling a party. We should do a party." And Chris and I'll be like, "Yeah, let's have a party." And he'll think, "Okay, so I'm free in 2 months on a Thursday for about 45 minutes. You think that'll work? You think we could do that? Put that in the schedule?" And
that's true.
Yeah, no. Japheth is actually pretty good at going with the flow if it needs to happen, and
a really good dancer
and a great dancer. My idea of a party is texting everyone that I know, telling them to invite everyone that they know.
Yeah.
I don't want to provide snacks for that though. So you tell everyone that they should bring their own snacks, and then you get them all into one place, and then you just have a blast. You introduce to people that don't know each other that you know, and you make sure that things are set up. We have a lawn where we play yard games, or sometimes people will just be dancing in the garage, and people having conversations in the middle of the living room. That's a good time.
Yeah. See, that's an extrovert's idea of a great party. For an introvert, that feels like a complete, total nightmare. You have to usually hide in the corner. Oh my gosh, there's all these people I don't know. What am I going to do?
You usually find Chris with maybe 2 people in a corner somewhere. And then the party will start at 7:30. And at about 9, Chris will be like, "All right, I'm going to bed." And he'll just go to his room.
Yes.
That's true.
That's what normal people do. Healthy people. No.
Chris.
I'm the coolest friend you've ever had. Yeah.
Chris, what do you value in friendships, or what do you look for? I know you don't have a whole massive list of friends. You like to be intentional with the ones you have and go really deep in them and build that relationship so it lasts. But what do you look for? What do you value? What's personally something that you're looking for in a friendship?
Yeah, I'm looking for vulnerability. It's probably a big thing. Like someone who's willing to be honest and open and vulnerable. I think everyone likes people that like to have fun, but like my version of fun of like let's play board games, let's go adventure. I love being surrounded by leaders, so friends that are strong leaders or have some capacity to lead. Those are probably all like certain things that I really value in friendship and really care about.
I want to go a little bit different direction here. Can we talk a little bit more about that vulnerability piece and that being honest and open in relationships? I think that'd be really good to talk about. So if either one of you have anything to share there, the floor is yours.
Well, vulnerability gets a bad rap. Like I used to think of vulnerability as you share all your deepest, darkest secrets, and then once you don't have any more deep, dark secrets, you don't have to be vulnerable anymore. So it had a lot to do with confession, which I realized that that's actually not true. That could be a part of it. Like, yeah, if there's some, like, there's vulnerability at its core. If you're being vulnerable, there's always a risk of rejection. And so when you're sharing really deep, dark secrets, that feels super vulnerable because you could be rejected in that moment. But it's more than that. Vulnerability, one of my mentors taught me that vulnerability is really you opening up your heart and allowing other people to see your heart and affect you. So like, no matter what that is, like sometimes your dreams are actually more vulnerable to share with your friends than even your deep, dark secrets because you've probably had that moment where you share a dream and someone goes, oh yeah, that's impossible. That won't happen. And you instantly feel this thing of like, oh, I'm getting rejected. I'm getting shut down. And so there's always that risk. So I would say like vulnerability is simply you opening up your heart and allowing other people in to see that and to affect, basically you're affectable from them. Like you're allowing them to affect your heart. And it looks different in every scenario. But yeah, that's how I would say I'd describe vulnerability.
I've heard it said that vulnerability is, it's sharing something with someone that they can hurt you with. And I agree. A lot of the times the hurt comes through rejection. So I recently started writing a book and it was scary to tell people about it because they could say, oh, well, you don't have time or, what do you know about to write a book about or, things like that. And so it's vulnerable to share that I want to write a book. And at the same time, confession can be really vulnerable, usually is really vulnerable because it gives them something that they can hurt you with. They can betray you with, they can tell other people, etc. But I think when it comes to friendship, there are different levels to being intimate with someone. And you can have hangout acquaintances all day long, but if they never go to the next level of knowing your heart and seeing the next level inside of you, then I think that they really don't deserve the title of friend if you can't trust them with that. And it is scary. It definitely is scary. But I think learning to trust those people, learning to discern which people should be trusted with your vulnerable moments and which ones are just better left as hanging out buddies. But as you share that deeper thing, Chris Valentin says that intimacy should be pronounced into me you see. And as you grow in that vulnerability, you're actually growing a connection between your two hearts, and it strengthens friendship a lot more than what you would feel in the moment.
Yeah, because you're going to have levels of friendships. You're going to have like circles. You're going to have like your inner circle, your outer circle, and then from there. So like Japheth and Nicolas are in like my inner circle. They have permission to speak into any area of my life, give me feedback, see anything, or say anything they want into my life. Don't give me those eyes, Japheth. And there's a couple other people that are in that circle, and then I have people that are in my outer circle. It's kind of like with Jesus. Like Jesus it was him, and he had his 12 disciples. Of those 12 disciples, he had Peter, John, and James, who you could say were in his inner circle. He grew really close to them, and then he had the other 9 that were probably in like his outer circle. And then if you keep reading, he sends out the 70. And those would be like an even farther level out of an even bigger level of outer circle. And then from there, you'd have the crowds that he talked to, and then go from there. So you're going to have levels of friendship. And as you build trust with people, which will require some level of vulnerability, but vulnerability can come at levels. You don't have to like be completely 100%. I'm going to share 100% of everything of who I am in this one moment with somebody. But as you're walking out and building trust with someone, and you gain more trust with them, then people can move into your inner circle, your outer circle, in any of those sort of capacities.
Yeah, that's cool. I was actually wanting to talk about that, and you covered it. But not all friendships are created equal. We all need different levels and layers of friendships. We need mothers and fathers and mentors who are pouring into us. We need friends that we can go deep with, but not all friendships are the same, and so we need balance there. We can't all have 20 best friends. That's just possible. So we'll have some acquaintances, some good friends, some best friends, and then as well as people that we are mentoring or pouring into, like younger brothers and sisters or other friends like that.
I had been thinking about what a friend is, and actually been thinking about it a lot recently, and specifically to me, I thought that similar to wedding vows, when I call someone my friend, I am saying, hey, I choose you when it's not convenient for me. I'll choose to be vulnerable when I feel like it's scary. I'll choose to go with your benefit over mine. I choose to invest time into you, even though it's going to be a sacrifice. It's going to cost me something. Now, don't go to some weird extreme where you're just killing yourself and breaking your back for another person, and they're not reciprocating of any sort. It definitely is a two-way street, but I don't see it as both parties going 50% and meeting in the middle. I actually see it more as both parties going 100% and they still meet in the middle. And if you're hitting each other at 100%, you're not just meeting in the middle, you're bonding, you're connecting. The strength there is a lot stronger.
Yeah.
And so just the willingness to choose them, but then also just there's the simplicity of just enjoying them, just having times of really enjoying the other person and seeing the good in them and having a good time. So
yeah, and there's different types of relationships too. Like you have people that are very independent, so that they say something like, I don't need to get my needs met by anyone else. It's me on my own island. I don't need friends. What are friends? I'm independent. I make all my own decisions. You have dependent people who basically say like, I can't exist without you. Like, you completely complete me. You're my world. You satisfy my every need.
That's called codependency.
Yeah, and then you have what relationships should be, which is like this word called interdependence, where it's basically, it's me saying to Nicholas and Japheth, I'm going to lend you my strength, and I'm going to open up and show you who I am, and I'm going to allow you to give me your strength and open up. And so there's this exchange of strength that happens, of energy, where it's not me saying I'm completely dependent on you. Without you, I'm nothing. And it's not this independence thing of I'm just going to do it on my own. I don't need you. You're going to stay away from me. There's this wall. There's this invisible, emotionless wall that's up. But in reality, relationships are supposed to be built on not just trust, but this interdependence of, I'm going to give you something of who I am, and I'm going to allow you to give me something of who you are.
Can you take away a little bit of the vagueness of the word strength and give a practical example?
Yeah, so like with Nicholas, Nicholas is really good at like fostering relationships. He's really good at building community. He's really good at getting things done. Like, he just, like, it's funny, like, I'll have an idea, or he'll have an idea, or someone will have an idea, and he'll just do it. And like, he just has this ability to get things done, and this, and just create and foster those different areas. And so that's something that I lack in. Like, I would say I'm not very good at creating. I can be hospitable and like know like how to do little details to make what he's wanting done better, but I'm not very good at that. Whereas something I'm really good at. Oh gosh, what am I really good at?
Dreaming.
I'm really good at dreaming. I'm really good at learning, educating myself. I'm
Humble.
I'm humble. I'm the spiritual rock of this relationship.
He's really positive,
Yeah.
which has helped me out a lot.
Thanks,
watching
guys.
it. Yeah.
So Nicholas would lend his strength, so to speak, like the things that he's good at, the things that he's confident in. He would lend that strength to me, if that makes sense. Those qualities, and then the qualities that I have, that I'll lend those to him. I would say something else is like, I'm really good at creating safety and like fostering this place of like, he's good at fostering like, okay, let's create community. And then I'm really good at like, if you want to be vulnerable in this community, we'll cover you, and he is too. He's good at that too. But like, those are like probably the exchange of strength. When I say the word strength, the giving of like the qualities that I have, the characteristics I have, because every person is different. Every person has something valuable and worth bringing to the table. Everyone thinks differently. Everyone looks at a situation just a little bit differently, and so when you come together and you pull on other people's strengths and how they think and what they think about and how they live their life and what they value, it's just gonna bring so much more life and joy and complete and fullness to that relationship.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So nice.
You're beautiful. Japheth's beautiful.
Beautiful.
He's also single.
Kind of. Maybe not for much longer.
Who knows? Yeah.
Who knows?
But if you would like to get to know him more, Mast at gmail.com. I don't even know what your email is.
Shoot. I get enough crap emails.
Hey, your listeners are not crap emails.
Yeah,
you guys are
We're here
amazing.
to confirm
You're listening.
Yes. Yes. Thanks for listening. I think let's wrap it up. That was a great conversation. Any final thoughts on friendships, relationships that you want to leave the listeners with?
I feel like we should go over the number one rule. Be kind. You'll
Mhm.
make a lot of friends and keep a lot of friends if you just be kind.
I'd simply just say that life is short. Make it awesome.
Oh, you broke my mic.
Oh yeah, I broke it. Life is short. Make it awesome.
Great. Okay, well, thanks for listening, listeners, and thanks for being on the podcast, Chris and Nicholas. I would say you can find them online, but you can go on Facebook. Chris, what's your Instagram handle?
I don't know what my Instagram is.
Yeah, look
Scruggs.
up Chris Scruggs.
With a photo that's 3 years old.
Scruggs, and Nicolas Lirio.
I'm not on Instagram.
Yeah, he's on Facebook. Nicolas Lirio. Okay, that's it. Bye. Remember, life is short. Make it awesome.
Yes, it is.
Thanks for listening to the podcast today. I would love if you would leave me a review on Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcasting platform, as it really does help the show out. You can find me on Instagram at Japheth Mast, that's spelled JAPHETHMAST, or my website, japhethmast.com. Have an amazing week, and don't forget, make life awesome.